Thanks, YouTube, in my quest to catch up on, uh, shall we say, important forum topics. I managed to miss the AI one, so I wanted to touch base on that now. What's up, Nate? Says AI is a hot topic in our community, and there are a lot of misconceptions around what it is, how it works. So we thought it would be a good time for us to pull back the curtain on how it functions and talk about where it's going in the future. Before we begin, it's important to separate what exactly the AI controls from how it makes its decisions, as those are two different conversations. We plan to have both conversations within this particular post. We want to focus on the latter. Then we'll dedicate a future post to clarifying what things do and don't fall under the umbrella of AI in the first place. So to start, important questions: what is AI? Not an actual artificial intelligence. It's a frame perfect button masher with random outputs. Too random, but also doesn't respect randomness. It's too random for designers to control, but also has old hard rules that make it harder to understand. And then some true randomness at times, making this very difficult to debug. That's a lot of... Kabam's explanation of AI just makes it worse. The AI knows actions, distance, and state. It doesn't know effects, masteries, memory. Each action the AI can take is given a weighted chance of being rolled. Every time the AI rolls to see what action it attempts, even if it is already performing another one. There are some rules that make an action invalid. If the AI rolls an invalid action, it will keep re-rolling until it finds a valid one, as the animation below shows. This feels so confusing to me. Am I the only one that is actually just making me more confused? You can see here how each frame has an event chain based on what roles or decisions are happening. Here's a closer look at an example of what chain would look like at any given moment. Obviously, it's impossible for all these things to actually occur, even these successful rolls, but this creates a lot of noise when one is trying to figure out exactly why a certain outcome occurred. What about the things that modify AI behavior? Each fight has an AI profile assigned that determines its default weights for rolling each action. We primarily use 2 easy for early game content and hard for everything else. But the boners here, what's up, Bone Man? Champion-specific tuning. In rare cases, if a champion relies on a specific action as a core part of their gameplay loop, we can additionally weight it to action for that character. Heavy attack on Dr. Doom. Do we mean rare here? There are fewer of these cases than players usually suspect. I don't know how that has made sense to me. During the fight, hitting the defender builds up a hidden aggression stat, which adds more weight to certain attacks and actions. This decays over time if you stop hitting the defender. Both the growth and decay of the system vary by profile. Mistakes. Another hidden system is mistakes. The AI has a chance to roll to make a bad decision with the original intent of giving the player an opening to capitalize on. And Bone Man with a $3 holler during the video. Thank you, sir. Alright, back to the video. There are effects that modify AI behavior: taunt, intimidate, infuriate. They do this by adding weight to the targeted action, such as a special attack in the case of taunt, or by modifying the overall aggression of the system. What does this all mean? That's a great question. With all the above being said, the AI doesn't really know why it's hitting the buttons it's hitting, but when it makes a decision, it does so instantly and with perfect information. Frame perfect button masher. So if there's any window the AI can capitalize on, it will eventually find it. Think of how you sometimes tap a light randomly and find that you've just intercepted your opponent And now imagine you have the perfect reaction timing to tune that into a full combo every single time, and to block if you don't see yourself being attacked in turn. That kind of in the moment randomness is what everything the AI does is built from. So while behavior patterns do emerge based on probability, spread of the different action roles, the most universal truth of the AI is that unpredictability. Now, some of that is the point of a skill-based fighting game. I just don't know if I buy that based off of what I've seen, especially with the toughest content. Where an element of your skill is reacting to new information, but the current system is more random than that. It's important to reiterate that AI has no concept of techniques like parrying or intercepting. Again, I don't know if I buy that either. That's why it's so difficult to address certain kinds of issues like the AI light intercepting the player too often, because there isn't a system specifically for that behavior in place, and so there's nothing we can clearly tune up or down. We can change global aggression values or tell the AI to use light attacks less often or to block more often, but all of those cause significant collateral damage to the overall play experience. At the end of the day, when the button masher at the heart of the system sees your character vulnerable in front of it and in the range for a light attack, it's going to see that as the only valid action some real percentage of the time. For these reasons, our long-standing policy was that we simply wouldn't change the AI at all. Why risk making gameplay worse overall when you can't even be confident the change will have the intended effect? As we've said before, we decided last year that this approach was untenable. Too many small changes were happening, whether we wanted them to or not. We'd optimize the way fights are loaded, or clean up some background variables, or find and fix a seemingly unrelated code bug, or do something crazy, like upgrade the entire gameplay and function at 60 frames per second instead of 30, and something somewhere would change with us being able to roll it back or even meaningfully to make a change in the opposite direction. For a while, we tried making these targeted fixes anyway, being as careful as possible, knowing we couldn't just watch the system decay in front of us. But even as careful as we were putting fixes through rigorous QA internal play, we still sometimes discovered unintended knock-on bugs after we pushed the live fix. So you can continue to read all the way down. The moment we've been waiting for, we usually don't share this sort of information this early, but we're actively in development on a brand new AI system, AI 2.0. Our goal with this rebuild is to gain the ability to actually do things just tune, intercept down, or to build a feedback loop where the AI actually understands that it has been throwing heavies against the far wall for 20 seconds and should maybe try something else. Doesn't that sound harder? But first, we still need to build out new systems for perception and memory, and then for making decisions, and get those decisions as close to parity with the current system as possible. So they're still going to keep the weird random button masher as a core part of the contest. We know we won't replicate the current experience, but we intend to get very close, only with access to more tools and levers for future improvements. Wow. This is still a long way out, and there will certainly be a number of challenges in delivering this, but we are committed to improving the player experience here and even further. I don't know if that's improving it as much as it is making it harder. I just don't buy it. There are some red flags with AI 2.0. It seems like Kabam is going to say that it's going to be a lot more self-aware, which in itself is not good. Wow. Well, I'm committed to keeping videos under 10 minutes when I can. So we're going to stop it here. What do you think of AI 2.0? Let me know in the comments below. Otherwise, thanks for watching.